Crisis talks aimed at averting a military confrontation between Russia and Ukraine appear to be faltering, as Western allies prepare for a possible conflict between the neighbors that could be painful, violent, and bloody. Western allies are preparing for some kind of military confrontation, with NATO putting more forces on standby and looking to reinforce Eastern Europe with more ships and fighter jets. The U.S. Department of Defense, meanwhile, said Monday that about 8,500 American troops are on heightened alert and awaiting orders to deploy to the region in the event that Russia does invade Ukraine. The 8,500 troops are based in the U.S. and would be part of the NATO response force if that group is activated, the Pentagon said. The NATO response force is a 40,000-strong, multinational unit made up of land, air, maritime and special operations forces that NATO can deploy quickly, wherever needed. Its overarching purpose is to provide a rapid military response to an emerging crisis, NATO says. It has not yet been activated. Pentagon Press Secretary John F. Kirby stated Monday that the American forces being put on standby would be in addition to the significant combat-capable U.S. forces already based in Europe to deter aggression and enhance the alliance's ability to defend allies and defeat aggression if necessary. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin has placed a range of units in the United States on a heightened preparedness to deploy, which increases our readiness to provide forces if NATO should activate the NRF or if other situations develop, the press secretary said. If it is activated, Austin's order would enable the U.S. to rapidly deploy additional brigade combat teams, along with units specializing in logistics, aviation, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, transportation, and more, Kirby noted. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, meanwhile, warned Monday that a Russian invasion of Ukraine would be a painful, violent, and bloody business and a disastrous step. The intelligence is very clear that there are 60 Russian battle groups on the border of Ukraine. The plan for a lightning war that could take out Kyiv is one that everybody can see. We need to make it very clear to the Kremlin that that would be a disastrous step, he told reporters. But as the US and NATO officials plan for a potential conflict, Europe seems to have been conspicuously absent from many of the proceedings leading up to this point. Many last-ditch negotiations aimed at preventing tensions between Russia and Ukraine from spilling into conflict have gone ahead without the European Union, leading Eurasia Group's Emre Peker and Alex Bordeaux to believe that Europe has been sidelined on its own turf. The EU has failed to unequivocally rally behind a strategy to counter Russia's increasingly aggressive posture against Ukraine and will struggle to do so going forward. That will relegate Brussels to the sidelines as the US and Russia discuss the future of Europe's security architecture, they noted Monday. Several European officials have complained that the EU has been sidelined during discussions on Ukraine between the US and Russian officials. Ukraine has also complained that it has also been left out of talks in which it is the central focus and concern. But part of the European Union's difficulties when it comes to dealing with its bellicose neighbor Russia is that there is a division within the bloc over how to deal with Moscow. Some countries take a more dovish stance toward Russia, such as France and Germany, whereas others, such as those in Eastern Europe or those that used to be part of the Soviet Union like the Baltics, are more hawkish. In addition, the EU has an awkward reliance on Russia for a large chunk, around 40%, of its natural gas supplies, meaning that Russia can use this resource, particularly in winter, to its own advantage. Germany in particular is in a difficult situation because the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline, which is yet to be approved, will transport gas directly into Germany and is designed to boost Russian gas supplies to the continent. Another part of the problem is that there is no consensus in the EU over its future security landscape. Some countries, like France, are pushing for more strategic autonomy from the US and NATO, while others, again those in Eastern Europe and the Baltics where NATO troops are deployed, are more comfortable with remaining under the aegis of the military alliance. Concerns over Russia's behavior toward Ukraine grew amid reports that it had deployed around 100,000 troops and military hardware to various positions along its border with Ukraine. There have also been some intelligence reports that it is planning to invade.